Chances are you already get your power from a Westinghouse generator. Their giant 440 megawatt generators power the grid. So I asked for one of their steam turbine generators, and to my surprise they said no. But they did send me this. Check this thing out, man. This is exciting. Got this today. It's the Westinghouse WGen9500DF portable generator. This is a dual fuel generator. Runs on gasoline or propane. Cranks out 9,500 continuous watts and 12,500 peak. Man, this thing is a beast. It's got a bunch of features we'll get into. Look at all the stuff that can run on here. Microwaves, sump pumps, air compressors. So I'm gonna hook this thing up to a bunch of stuff, show you all the things it can do. We're gonna push it pretty hard. I'm even gonna hook it up to my well pump, which takes a lot of startup current. See if it can handle that. I think it will, but we'll find out. And we're going to show you 3 different ways to hook this up to your house. Like the good, the better, and the ultimate. Right? So stay tuned for that. We'll get this thing out of the box and let's get started. Okay guys, so here's everything it comes with. You got the user manual, and got a few parts. Got some oil, we're going to put that in. They even give you a nice little funnel to go with it, plus tools, spark plug wrench. These are the axles, a couple washers. Here's the front feet with vibration isolators. Nice. There are the wheels, and they even give you a little charger. So this should only take about 10 minutes. So let's get this thing together. We're going to go through the wheel, then the washer, then through, and then we're just going to put it right through here. Piece of cake, cotter pin in there. Beautiful. Alright, got the whole cord. Okay, so I got one more little thing to do. We got to hook up the battery. So they put the terminal ends on and they gave us this little connector. I think they're just trying to make it super easy for us to do this, right? So there can't be any mess ups. Well, there you go. It's the charger. Plugs in. You don't even have battery terminals. They've made this super easy. Okay, so let's take a little closer look at this thing. First of all, it is dual fuel. We have gasoline, we have propane. This is how you switch back and forth. We got the start button. We got the run stop switch, battery indicator. This is where you plug in a smart switch that can auto start the generator, like on a transfer switch. This is your main breaker. We have a data center. Provides information like the run hours, stuff like that. Over here we've got 4 outputs. We've got 2 of the 120 volt 20 amp circuits. Okay. And we've got a 30 amp 120 240 volt circuit. And we've got a 50 amp 120 240 circuit. They all have these nice covers that seal up. I like those, keep the dust, dirt, and bugs out of here. And they're all individually fused. Very nice. So yeah, I'm impressed with this. I think it's got everything you need and it's very well laid out here. Moving around, we've got the battery. It has a disconnect here if you need to. The oil fill, the propane regulator. Coming around the side, here's the pull start. If your battery's dead, you can still start this thing up. We have a fuel shutoff. Right, so you turn it on, you run it. I always turn it off, turn this valve off, shut the fuel off before I turn the generator off. And that'll run the gas out of the carburetor and keep it from plugging up. Here's your air filter. Okay, the choke. Spark plug, need to change that. This is a really nice feature. Look at that. It's a nice box around the exhaust to protect it and protect you from burns. Very nice, well done. Okay, and it's got this handle which doesn't require you to unbolt it to have it down, which is going to make this generator store very nicely for how much power you're getting out of this. it's in a pretty small package. Very well done. Okay, so now let's take a closer look at our connections. First of all, you could just come right up to your 20 amp circuit, plug in your basic extension cords, and just plug in whatever you want, up to 20 amps each, right? That's pretty simple. Next up, you got the 30 amp connector, 4-prong. This guy goes right in here. Nice, good connection, twist. It's held in there nicely. Okay, that's your 30 amp. Or, you come up with a 50 amp, right? Plug that right in here. Tight connection, it's good. Alright. And then the last thing I want to show you is, we'll do a separate video on this, but this is the smart switch, transfer switch. This will auto start the generator. It has two connections. First, the data connection, control. That plugs in right here, twist on, like so, and it also comes with its own 30 amp cable. These cables are pretty long, so you can get the generator far away from the house. And there you go, that's the basic hookup for it. But we'll talk more about that later. For now, let's go ahead and get this thing cranked up and see what it'll do. And first, we'll run it on gasoline. Okay. Ready to crank it up. I'm just gonna turn the fuel on. We've got it switched to gasoline. Turn it to run, the battery. Switch it over to propane. Open this valve slowly. Okay, got her all hooked up. That's a compression fitting. All set. Feet, 20 feet, about 50 feet. Yeah, sounds like about any generator in this class pretty much. They're all kind of loud. Okay, good. So next, since we're out by the shop, we'll plug in a few shop toys and see what it can do. Okay, so let's start with the shop vac. We'll just let that run. Got all this stuff plugged in to the regular 20 amp outlet. There's the shop vac and drill press. I don't have anything to drill right now. There's the bandsaw. Okay, so now for the big dog. This compressor is 15.1 amps. So it should be okay. We've got a 20 amp circuit. Let's see what we get. Okay, so next I'm going to tell you 3 ways you can use this generator to power your house. The good, the better, and the best. But first we want to set this generator far away from the house. Not in a garage, not anywhere where the fumes can get into your house. It can be deadly. Alright, so we've got it set up in a well-ventilated area. And the first way we'll talk about is the good. This is the easy peasy way, is you just get a couple of extension cords, run them right into these two 20-amp circuits, and then we'll run these right into the house and power our stuff. Okay, then you just take the other ends, pop them through an open window, close it down a little bit, maybe run a little duct tape along there, and you're good to go. Okay, so let's crank this up, and then we can start plugging stuff in. We're going to plug in the refrigerator. Then some light bulbs, maybe a couple of window units, flat screen TVs, security systems, and maybe a chest freezer. Okay, so a better way to make use of this generator during a storm or power outage is to use a transfer switch. Okay, so instead of using these little 20 amp plugs and going through windows with extension cords and plugging everything in, we're going to go to the 30 amp or the 50 amp and run it to a transfer switch right into our home's electrical system. So let's take a closer look at that. Okay, so this is how the power gets into the house on these 2 transfer switches. Now you could just run one big transfer switch and be all on utility or all on generator. But by having the flexibility of the individual circuits, we can run big loads like a water heater and the well pump separately. You wouldn't want to run them both at the same time. So you run your water heater, heat up all your water, and then turn it off, put your well pump on, take your showers, and then turn that off, and then you maybe do the dryer. Okay? So with the big generator here, it will power most of this house all at the same time. We just got to be careful about the bigger loads. So let's switch on some of these circuits and see what this generator can do. Okay, we're powered up, generator's on, our transfer switches are hot, everything is turned off, and we're going to switch one thing out at a time so we can measure the watts being pulled by each thing we turn on. So let's start with air conditioner in the bedroom. So I just got that one switched on. Okay, so you may see 10 or 20 watts, that's the bedroom light, and now we're going to turn on a window unit. Switch it to cool. It's just the fan. Alright, there the compressor kicked in. You can see the corresponding watts there. Alright, let's turn it off. Okay, I'm going to switch that off. Put the pool pump on and go out and turn on the pool pump. Should see some watts coming up on that. That's the pool pump. Put it on high. Pool pump on high, back to low, and off. Okay, we're going to turn our pool pump off, switch, and now we're going to try something harder. This is the water heater, so this guy is going to be about 3,500 watts. We hear the generator kick in. That's about 3,500 watts, should be. Let's see it here. Alright, that's the water heater running on the generator. Okay, I'm going to go ahead and switch that water heater off. And now we're going to try a real tough one. We're going to do the well pump. There's a big startup current on this. Okay, to get the well to kick on, I got to open up the water. That'll force it to kick on. This will be a good test. Whoa! Yeah, it did it. No problem, actually. That's 2,000 watts continuous. Not sure we'll be able to capture the peak. Nice. So I'll let it run all the way till the well is pumped up the tank. Alright, it pumped up the tank, topped it off, and has shut off. Great. So that worked. Turn those off. Now here's another big test. This is the dryer. Now the startup current might not be so bad, but this thing does run a little over 6,000 watts, I believe. So let's see what we got here. Well, it's handling it. Alright, so the generator is handling the dryer. It's about 6,000 watts. I think the 30 amps is 7,200 watts. So we're pretty close to its limit. Cut that off, and yeah, looking good. Okay, so now I'm going to tell you about the best way to use this generator to power your house for long term. Okay, and I have to say, for this to work, you got to have battery-backed off-grid solar. Most people don't have that, of course, but this is just something to keep in mind as you're making plans for the future. So I'm going to hook this up the same way as the transfer switch, except it's going to come into this transfer switch instead, and that drives into the solar, and all that power goes into this battery bank. Alright, so why is this better than just using a transfer switch? Because if you're using a generator during, let's say you're going to be out of power for 2 weeks, well, you're going to run that generator 24/7, it's going to burn up a lot of gas, right? Most of the time you're only going to be pulling 500 to maybe 2,000 watts off of it. So a lot of that energy is being wasted. Well, this way I can run the generator at 7,000 watts into this battery bank to charge it for 2 hours straight. That's 14 kilowatt hours, right? That gives me enough power to run our house for a full day. So now I only have to run my generator for 2 hours instead of 24 hours. It saves a ton of gas, or makes your gas last a lot longer. Okay, so this will be a really good test of our generator, because this system has two 60 amp battery chargers, and we can dump about 6,000–7,000 watts into this battery bank for the next couple of hours. So let's hook this thing up and see what it can really do. Should be able to handle it. I mean, it's got 9,500, so we're still not, you know, getting too close to it. So next, I'm going to set how much power it can actually take in. 30 amps. Alright, 10%. We're going to start low and we'll ramp it up. So it's only going to charge rate of 10%. There we go. We're going to switch on our generator. That should give us power up to here. Now our chargers are turned on. It's going to check that power, qualify it, make sure it's good, clean power. If it likes it, there you go. It likes it. It is charging. Not pulling any current yet. There it goes. That's 10 amps at 50 volts. Let's go to 40%. Okay, so the amps climbing, 16, 17, 18. Oh wow, 51 amps. You hear the generator struggling a little. Whoa! At 90 amps, that's still very much in line with what this generator can do. And they're bubbling. %. 80 amps. Woo! That's a lot of power. So it's doing a good job. We've been putting about 5,100 watts into it for a while now. Right now it's cranking 91 amps. That's 80% of our 30 amp circuit. So we can turn that up just a little bit more. I mean, theoretically, we're not even close to what this generator can do. So we'll go to 90%. Put that up to 100 amps. That's a lot of power. With the losses, that's probably 7,000 watts coming out of that generator right now. Let's see how it likes it. That's almost to capacity of my charging system. All that power, 92 amps, 5,115 watts going into that battery bank. 95% charged, 63 amps. So right now the generator is running just about everything in this house except for the big loads, but it's got all the lights, air conditioners, water heater, pool pump, TVs, computers, just about everything. It's doing a great job. I'm real happy with it. I gotta say, very happy with it. We'll see how it does over the years. We'll do an update maybe in a year or two, but for now, that's it. Thanks for watching. We'll see you on the next one.